All I remember of my mother growing up was that she was very, very angry. She used to look at me like she hated me. She always said she wanted to die. My mom was born in Warsaw, Poland, and she was there when the war broke out. I don't know what else she saw, but I do know that whatever it was not good. My mother met my father. They fell in love and decided to get married, and they came to America. 2 years later, they had my sister, and 2 years later, they had me. She made good fried chicken, and we'd go camping. So there were good days, but there was always the element of anger and bitterness. Years later, my sister told me that she didn't get into trouble because she avoided it because she was afraid. I saw her 4 times in 40 years. She was 87 years old. And I said, you know what, I've got to find the money and go see her before she dies. I was concerned about her salvation. And there, at 87 years old, was the same bitter, hateful look. 45 years I prayed for my mom, and nothing seemed to work. Well, after I saw her, I decided to call TBN. They had the TV program playing that was on the air at the time. In my ear, I could hear it on the phone. And they were talking about World War II. They said that there were women in the incinerators that were singing hymns. And I looked and I said, oh Lord, you were there. It just hit me that God was there in the midst of all the horror. The next morning I went into the kitchen and I talked to my mom. And then I said to her, Mom, he was there. God was there. All of a sudden on my hand, it became like bubbling. It wasn't hot. It was bubbling like hot water, but it wasn't hot. And I knew that was the Holy Spirit. I put my hands on my mom's shoulder, and I was rubbing her back, and I just kept saying, Mom, he was there. He was there. All of a sudden, it stopped, the bubbling. And I took my hand down, and I looked at my mom, and I said, Mom, if you feel you have something between you and God that maybe isn't right, just ask him to forgive you, and he'll forgive you. And then I left her alone for a while, and came back a few minutes later, and my mom was totally changed. Her whole countenance changed. She had the smile of an angel. My mom went from being miserable to being really happy. She always said she wanted to die, but on the day that she died, she said, I want to go home. I want to tell you, Jesus loves you. Just put your life in his hands, your heart in his hands, and trust him. And even if you struggle trusting, give it to him anyway. Give it all. Give it all to Jesus. And watch and see what he will do. For he is a miracle working God.